Hello, thank you for joining us once again for our Shawnee Original Playwright series readings. Today we're doing a one-act play written by Lisa DeAngelis and Michael Naylor. It's called Upstaged, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the characters and the cast list, etc. before we get started. So our characters today in the show, we have Caesar Saperstein, and he is being played by Billy. If you could just raise your hand, Billy. Billy is playing the character, as I said, of Caesar, and he's 30s, flamboyant, long-suffering, and artistic. He's a long-suffering artistic director, actor, costumer, publicist, and official ringmaster of the chaos that is the Bucks County Playhouse. And then Sir Edmund is Bill. If you could raise your hand, Bill. He's in his 60s. He is a self-knighted Shakespearean actor, now reduced to character roles. And then Ruth Ann is playing Cookie Crumbs. She's in her 60s. She's a former child television star, the 1960s answer to Shirley Temple. And then we have Larry being played by Jack. He's in his 30s, a handsome leading man, though he's a little worse for wear. And we have Lexi. She's in her 20s, being played by Colleen, and she is the wide-eyed newcomer. So the synopsis is, the legendary Bucks County Playhouse struggles in 1998 to keep the dilapidated theater functional while mounting a production of Oklahoma, and also trying to introduce the idea of colorblind casting to the established company who are not enthusiastic about change. Scene one. We are on the stage of the dilapidated Bucks County Playhouse, circa 1998. The stage is bare except for a table and 5 chairs, a script at each place of the table, and hay bale, stage right. At Rye, Caesar and Cookie are seated at the table.
Hope they aren't late. We've only got 2 weeks to pull Oklahoma together. Well, they've still got a few minutes.
I'm glad we're alone, Caesar. There's something I wanted to say about your casting choice for Laurie.
Oh, please, not this again, Cookie. You know that Anastasia gets the lead in every show, and Laurie is the lead in Oklahoma. If we do a passion play, Anastasia gets to be Jesus Christ.
Because her father's bank holds the mortgage on this place?
Precisely because her father's bank holds the mortgage on this place.
But Anastasia is unfortunate looking.
Well, think of it as beauty blind casting, where everybody gets a trophy.
If I have to be cast as Aunt Eller, could I make one minuscule change?
And what would that be?
When I say to Curly, why, if I want an old woman, could I say instead, why, if I want a mature woman perfectly ripened by time, who's still young and attractive enough to date younger men?
No, Cookie, no. You're not rewriting Hammerstein.
Well, I've never seen a production of Oklahoma that adequately explored Aunt Eller's feminine mystique, the whole repressed sexual attraction that May so often feels for December, more precisely, Curly's long denied and therefore all the more powerful lusting after Aunt Eller.
If I'm going to explore any subtext, it'll be Curly's homophobia, exasperated by life on the prairie, as well as his sublimated longing to take not Aunt Eller, not Laurie, but Judge Fry to the box social.
No fair.
Cookie, if I know Anastasia, she won't stand for being relegated to a beard for a gay Curly, or tolerate a straight Curly with a senior citizen girlfriend. The point is moot.
Then let me be Ado Annie.
No, Cookie. Lexi is Ado Annie.
But Lexi is 10 years old.
She is not. She's the young adult, a YA. They even have their own fiction now, and besides, we need some new blood around here.
And what am I, Caesar? Old blood?
Hope we're not late. We were getting to know each other.
Nope, right on time.
I just want you all to know how honored I am to be here at the Bucks County Playhouse, where so many Broadway stars trod the boards. I just feel so thrilled to be here, and to be working on a new play is a dream come true.
No? Oklahoma? Oklahoma is 2,000 years old.
Lexi, I loathe disenchanting you, but here at the Bucks County Playhouse, we rotate Oklahoma, Carousel, The King and I, My Fair Lady, South Pacific, and when we get really experimental at Easter and Passover, Jesus Christ Superstar.
So tell me, little girl, has Larry deflowered you yet?
Shut up, Cookie.
No, and that's hurtful.
He will. He's got 2 weeks. Common wisdom holds that it should only take 1 week to mount a show. But here it takes 2 because the first week is devoted mostly to the actors figuring out who is going to sleep with who.
With whom?
And when it comes to deflowering, Larry's a regular landscaper.
I didn't come here for deflowering. I came here to practice my craft.
That'll work out. Larry has practiced his craft with every ingenue who's walked through that door, even me.
Shut up, Cookie. I was drunk and you were still in full makeup.
Enough, children. It's time we got on with it. We can't wait for Sir Edmund any longer.
Sir, was he really knighted by the Queen?
Never, ever, ever ask him about that.
They all look stage left as Sir Edmund makes an entrance. He's very drunk. He does a little jig to accompany his rendition of the song from Oklahoma.
Oh, the farmer and the cowman should be friends. One man likes to hump a plow, the other likes to kiss a cow. But that's no reason why they can't be friends.
Sir Edmund, you are late.
Wait, if chance will have me king, why chance can crown me without my stir.
Maybe we should call an ambulance.
Somnambulist am I? Macbeth doth murder sleep.
The hay bale stage right falls over and they all look around superstitiously.
Nothing but the wind, children. Sit down, Sir Edmund, if you will.
But ho, I will and I shall. Are you still insisting, Caesar, that we fill the cars with colored people?
People of color, and yes, I am, Sir Edmund, for the sake of diversity.
My fellow knight, Sir Lawrence Olivier, did Othello in blackface, and if it was good enough for the old Vic, it would be good enough for the Bucks County Playhouse.
That would be so inappropriate.
Sir Edmund stands and leans across to reach for Lexi's hand.
And never might this enchanting young lady be? Some enchanted evening.
Whoa there, Sir Edmund. We don't start rehearsals for South Pacific for another 3 weeks. This is Lexi, our Ado Annie.
Charmed, my dear.
We're trying to make our cast racially and ethnically diverse. It's all the rage, and we need to include more minorities.
The stuff and nonsense. When I was a king in The King and I just bootblacked my hair, slanted up my eyes, and called it a day. We didn't know you were a racist then. There was simply a critical dearth of colored people when you needed them. And that's why we could never do Porgy and Bess or Flower Drum Song.
So what are you and Cookie here for then, huh? To fill the geezer quota?
Do you think I am unaware of my dotage? Do you think I don't know that when I at last win my Tony, it would only be for Best Featured Actor, not for Best Leading Actor?
Can we move on to the matters at hand? There are issues that need review. Headshots for one. Cookie, do you have a photo more recent than the one that's on file, say, one that was taken in the last 30 years?
No,
Could you get one?
I would rather die, Caesar. Die, I say, than use another headshot. And if you force me to, I will kill myself on stage of a Madame Butterfly in front of a live audience. You want that on your conscience?
I skipped lunch. Don't suppose perchance there's a baguette in there?
Alrighty then, no new headshots. Let's talk bios. Larry, does the audience really need to know you can bench press 250? Sir Edmund, do you really want to thank, and I quote, no one but myself? Lexi, are you sure you wanted to dedicate your performance to God? Cookie, are you really grateful to your cat? I'm not questioning Larry's athletic prowess, Sir Edmund's egomania, Lexi's religious convictions, or the character of Cookie's cat. I'm just saying that a theater program fraudulently run off on Cookie's grandson's high school's copy machine while his teachers are in the lounge might not be the proper venue. Which reminds me, can he do about 200 more before Thursday?
Sure. So what if he gets expelled?
As to refreshments for opening night, we've all got to do our part. If we're going to bring our wine and cheese opening night soiree up to the level of mediocrity we've achieved heretofore.
Be happy to make brownies.
Great! Wouldn't that be lovely?
What do you want me to do?
Could you make a dollar store run for, say, 50 bandanas? The whole cast will wear one, and the rest will staple up all over authentic. Country rubes wear bandanas, right?
Sure. And they shop at the dollar stores.
And maybe pick up a roll of red vinyl tape. See, J2 is split, and Mrs. Applebaum got fluff all over her ample behind last matinee.
Will do.
The kids will provide their own costumes, of course. They'll get the stage mom sewing, and maybe we can wring a lasagna or two out of them the night of dress rehearsal.
Wear bibs, everybody. We don't want to stain our bandanas.
And Cookie, could you make a pit stop at Le Grand Fromage and pick up whatever expired cheese they're selling to give us for free? We'll give them a blurb in the playbill, but don't leave the cheese in the costume shop or the rats will nibble.
Cookie uses an imaginary pencil to write on an imaginary pad of paper.
No costume shop. Rats nibbling. Got it.
Rats? Just how big are these rats?
Hard to say. They resist being weighed. But legend has it that we used a real-life Yorkie once for Toto, and one day Dorothy went backstage to get him, and that was all that was left was his little rhinestone collar.
You're evil, Ches.
Don't kill the messenger. And Cookie, when you cut the cheese, make sure to cut off the green foreskin before you put it out. We don't want our subscribers suspecting just how long it's been aged. It's all right, Lexi. Cookie knows how to make precise cuts. She was a mole before she came to the Playhouse.
I think I should do more than just bake brownies.
Okay, Lexi love, you can go get a big box of red wine and a big box of white wine. Take the money out of the cash drawer in the box office and make sure to let it breathe before you start pouring into cups. Plastic cups. Larry, find the picnic set. It's behind Music Man and in front of Springtime for Henry. There's sure to be plastic cups somewhere in set for a picnic. Are you following my logic? That's why I make the big bucks. That set hasn't been touched in 40 years, but hell, plastic never goes bad.
Really, Caesar, how can Lexi buy wine? She can't possibly be 21.
I am too. And a half.
Okay, let's splurge. Go to the Giant and get the biggest bag of potato chips you can find. I've got a basket someplace left over from State Fair. Presentation is everything.
Bill, you're muted.
Okay?
Very well.
Now Billy's muted. Not so fast. How come I get called on using an old headshot, but Sir Edmund gets to use his from South Pacific 1972 when he still had hair?
I have precisely the same number of follicles I had then.
No, you don't. I counted them while you were sleeping.
Stop it, children. You're both young and vibrant. Everybody knows that 60 is the new 40.
Or 30 even.
You're
You're
both
full of soup. No woman wants to admit to a day over 39. Oh, sure. All those magazine covers proclaim the joy of aging. How empowering it is. How delightful that the lines in your face give you character. Civilians believe that crap. We can afford to. But me, what do I get for all that empowerment and character? I get Aunt Eller, my hag.
Everyone loves Aunt Eller Cookie.
I don't love her. I hate her guts.
Woman, you are overwrought.
Oh, go spray your bald spot.
I think the important thing is to accept yourself.
Really? Is that the important thing, Lexi? You're a baby. You know nothing.
I am not a baby, and you should be proud to be working in a theater that's an institution.
Oh, it's an institution, all right.
Do I have to remind you that this is one of the last surviving theaters in the Straw Hat circuit? The place where Robert Redford starred in Barefoot in the Park before it was even titled Barefoot in the Park. The place where women used to wear mink stoles even in summer because to see a show here was a big deal. Where Kitty Carlisle fell in love with Moss Hart before she realized he was gay. I believe this theater is magic, and I am proud to be a part of that magic. I believe that acting is a noble profession. We can make people forget their troubles for 2 hours, 2.5 with intermission. Name a single other profession besides performing that can do that.
Pimp, drug dealer, cable TV installer.
We can't cure cancer or feed all the starving children, but we can make people laugh and we can sing to them. And yes, Caesar, I do want to dedicate my performance to God.
Brava, Alexa, brava! This is what it's all about. Performing! And the camaraderie of others. When I was young, a younger man, there was a certain hail fellow, well-met spirit among actors.
Yes, yes. Well, be that as it may, do you mind if I try out my curtain speech? Welcome to the Bucks County Playhouse. Your artistic director here, Caesar Saperstein, sending a salute out to our subscribers and all you lesser folk who could be enjoying discounts of $3 Tuesday through Friday and $2 on weekends. If only you weren't afraid of commitment. On all your favorite shows that never get old, no matter how many hundreds of times we do them. Just a few provisios and caveats. Bathrooms are in the rear, men's to the left, ladies to the right, undecided wherever. But because of the long lines at intermission, let's try to avoid liquids, unless of course they're purchased from our vending machines, and we get 10%. Of a special note, as only one of our designated ladies' toilets is operational at this time, please no tampon flushing. Our plunger was stolen for props. So, without further ado, I give you Rogers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma.
Bravo, Caesar, bravo!
Caesar, Cookie, and Larry take their scripts and wander off. Sir Edmund deliberately lingers as Lexi gathers her things.
You're new to these parts, my dear. Perhaps I could give you the benefit of my experience. You could pop over to my pad tomorrow night and we could run lines together.
But Sir Edmund, I don't think we have any scenes together.
Nonsense. I'm sure if we look long enough, we can find some. And even if we don't, one of us can be on book and we can help each other memorize.
I already know all my lines. And everyone else's.
Of course. Don't tell me. Let me guess. Your mommy took you to children's theater before you learned to walk. You tried out for every school play, from Gretel and Hansel and Gretel, in second grade to Emily in our town, senior year. And when you didn't get a part, you strung the lights and swept the stage. In college, you were a theater major with a minor in theater.
How'd you know all that about me?
I didn't, my dear. I was talking about myself, apart from the roles of Gretel and Emily, of course. I was Hansel and George Gibbs, but how about running lines with me? I really could use some help. Don't tell anyone, but my memory always isn't accurate.
Okay. Would 7 be good?
7 would be magnificent.
Scene 2. The 1960s are over, but no one has told Sir Edmund's apartment, which contains a sofa with an Abby Hoffman poster hanging over it. Lexi is sitting on the sofa with her back unnaturally straight and holding her knees tightly together. Sir Edmund enters with 2 beers, wearing a tie-dyed shirt and one of the most ubiquitous bandanas on his head.
Here, a couple of these will get the old performance juices flowing.
Is that alcohol?
No, it's only beer, perfectly harmless. I use it on my cereal every morning. Hops! It keeps me hale and hearty.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't drink alcohol.
Oh, I might have some milk lying around.
I really don't want anything. Let's just get down to business.
Edmund leaps over the side of the sofa and plops down right next to Lexi.
Let's.
Where's your script?
Oh, around someplace.
You mentioned finding yourself more forgetful recently.
But not tonight. Tonight I can well remember how it felt to be 21.
I only asked because my Gramps was getting forgetful and he started taking ginkgo biloba and it really helped.
Thanks for the tip.
You're welcome. You said you would tell me about your experiences at the Playhouse. It's obvious you've been around forever, and I'm just a novice. What advice can you give me?
Never grow old, my dear, never grow old.
Aha!
How did you get in?
My key.
You kept your key all these years?
I did.
Why?
In case I ever wanted to get in, and tonight I wanted to get in.
Why?
To catch you in flagrante.
Don't you use Latin with me. We were never steadies.
I'll just let myself out.
She jumps up from the sofa and runs toward the door.
I caught you in the act of trying to seduce a child.
She's not a child. She's a young adult, a YA. They have their own fiction.
She's a child and you're an old man.
And you're an old woman.
Exactly.
Oh, Cookie, you're right. I am an old man.
It's not so bad really being old. You know what they say, sure beats the alternative.
Not for actors. Sometimes I think I'd almost rather be dead than old.
Don't say that.
Old age is the revenge of the plain. I mean, if you were never terribly attractive, you probably hardly notice the difference. But when you've known what it's like to be extremely good looking, when you've seen the intoxicating effect you have on people, when you've known all the advantages that the beautiful people take for granted, you'll miss it when it's gone.
I know.
You remember how handsome I was, Cookie?
I remember it well.
I could have had my pick of any girl I wanted. The boys, too, if I played on that team. And not just chorus, most of the leads, too.
I remember.
I was in a Gigi revival in the Philippines once. I was inebriated most of the time, but still, what a company we formed. Normally, we'd be in and out of each other's beds, but unfortunately, the whole cast contracted malaria and was quarantined. I think all the alcohol rendered me immune. Everyone was quarantined, that is, except for myself and an actress who shall remain nameless.
Why does she have to remain nameless?
I'm too much of a gentleman to kiss and tell. Though I will say I was magnificent in the bedroom and on stage. Even in my cups, I never dropped a line. I was a lot like Richard Burton that way.
Richard Burton, your sister's ass. You won't name the actress because you can't remember who she was, you senile old coot. That, and you're never willing to share billing with anybody.
Christ wounds, mad woman. The length of any show has been largely determined by how many lines you drop. Many's the full length you've turned into one act. While my memory is unimpeachable, I can relate every detail of that Gigi tour. The quarantine lasted 3 days.
It was 4.
I shagged the costume.
She was a whore.
Oh, yes, I remember it well. We enjoyed one night together.
A night and a day.
I was the only man who wasn't gay. And yes, I remember it well. What a gal, but c'est la vie.
What a gal? That gal was me.
Sir Edmund and Cookie look at each other, and with remembrance on Cookie's part and sudden recognition on Sir Edmund's.
Yes, I remember
I
it well.
remember it well.
Rushing to Cookie and taking her by the shoulders.
Are you telling me that you were that young actress in the Philippines and that Edmund Jr. is my son?
Of course I am, you idiot.
You're not looking for back child support, are you?
I'm not looking for anything from you. I just can't believe it's taken you all this time to figure it out. Didn't you suspect when I named him after you?
I assumed it was a well-deserved accolade. But it's not too late, is it? Grow old along with me. The best part is yet to be.
Ha! What show is that line from?
None. I just made it up. Come on, Cookie, marry me. If there's anybody out around this yard can hear my voice, I want them to know that Miss Cookie Crumbs is my girl, and she went and got to marry her.
Get up, you old fool.
Well, will ya?
Of course.
Scene 3, Lexi is walking around on the stage practicing her blocking when Larry enters.
Lexi, I was looking for you.
You were?
I know the cast house has no kitchen, and you must be sick of pizza by now, so thought we could grab a bite to eat somewhere after rehearsal.
You mean like a date?
I guess.
If I went on a date with you, what would it mean?
Mean? I don't think it would mean anything.
And after dinner, would you expect me to go back to your room with you?
I'm asking you to eat a meal together, not marry me.
I realize that. It's just that I've seen what restaurants cost in New Hope, and I wouldn't want you to put out that kind of money and not get any return on your investment.
Return on my investment? Is your day job working in a bank? I wasn't planning on eating in New Hope. I've got a car. I was thinking we'd drive to Burger King. And don't shortchange yourself. If you turned pro, you'd command a lot more than $3 for a burger.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to insult you. I guess I'm just hopelessly small town.
Look, you can pay for your own burger if that would make you more comfortable.
That's okay. I may be from a small town, but I'm also pretty cheap. I guess you're from New York City. A lot of the cast are.
Actually, I was born in New Hope, and I've never been more than 100 miles away from it in all my life, so I guess I'm a pretty small town myself.
Oh, well, now I really feel awful. It's just
Guess what?
your reputation precedes you, that's all.
Your reputation is that.
Oh, now I've offended you again.
I want to know.
You're kind of a Danny Zuko,
Oh, I get it. And you're Sandy Olsen.
I guess.
I recall Sandy and Danny get together in the end, after he shapes up, of course.
I guess that's the thing. My dad always says, if you're born square, don't die round. You don't die round. I don't think if Sandy and Danny had married, it would have lasted.
Lexi, you're a very nice girl. And you're very pretty, too. But I don't want to marry you. All right? Not now, not next year, or ever.
How can you be so sure?
Because I went that route before. Never again.
You mean you were married?
For about 5 minutes.
How's that?
I made my high school girlfriend. We were in Little Shop of Horrors together, senior year. She was Audrey. I was Seymour. We went to the same college. We did Cinderella. She was Cinderella. I was notably miscast as the prince. Couldn't wait to graduate so we could get married and start a family. The plan was I would take a day job and she would continue acting until she got pregnant. We wanted 4 kids.
I want 4 too. 2 boys, 2 girls.
Not on the salary you're making here, I hope.
No, but someday. What happened then?
Yeah, we got married. Both our families were there. All our friends in high school and college. 200 people. In front of 200 people. She promised to love me and cherish me forever. And I promised the same.
Did you go on a honeymoon?
Yep. Virginia Beach. It's for lovers.
It is? I didn't know that.
I'm quoting an old commercial. Anyway, as soon as we came home and moved into our apartment, together with the gifts of 200 guests who watched as we promised to love each other and cherish each other forever, she was offered a major tour.
What show?
Ironically enough, Oklahoma.
Wow.
It was going to mean a lot of money, and we figured when she came back, we'd be able to buy a house and start a family right away. I thought maybe I'd start teaching high school once the baby started coming.
Sounds like a workable plan.
Oh, it was, except for one thing.
What?
She never came home. She sent me a letter that she'd fallen in love with Curly, and she wanted a divorce.
You sound bitter.
I am.
If this was a musical, I'd soften your heart, and you wouldn't be bitter anymore.
That's not happening. On second thought, I think I'll get takeout and eat it alone. See ya.
Scene 4. Lexi and Caesar are sitting up in bed side by side. Lexi is wearing sexless flannel pajamas. Caesar is in street clothes. There is a folding, There is a folding screen suggesting a closet stage left. A pizza box lies empty and open at the foot of the bed.
Gee whiz, this is awkward. I wish there was something besides bedrooms in this cast house.
The accommodations do leave much to be desired, and no kitchen, not even a hot plate. That's why I thought of bringing pizza over.
Thank you. That was a great idea. I was starving.
I know, I've never seen a girl who could put it away like that. You ate 6 pieces, and I could barely finish 2.
I didn't realize you were counting. I asked if you wanted the last piece, and you said no.
I was afraid to lose a finger if I reached for it. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
You didn't. It's just surprising. That's the kind of gaffe straight men make all the time.
Really?
That's what I love about gay men and why I almost prefer them for friends. They're generally kind and polite. They're funny, smart. They dress neatly, just like you, apart from the graceless pizza remark, and they're wonderful confidants. If I tell you something, will you promise not to tell the others?
Of course. I'm president of Gay Confidence Association.
I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, just like Nellie Forbush in our next show.
What a coincidence. I didn't know that about you when I gave you the part, but I certainly got that vibe. Why should that be a secret? Because I've already suffered enough teasing.
I've already suffered enough teasing. You guys wouldn't dare make fun of blacks or Asians or Hispanics or gays, but it's always open season on openly Christian Christians. That and my age. I can't help being 21 any more than Cookie and Sir Edmund can help being, 100.
They don't mean anything by it. They love you.
Well, I wish they wouldn't love me so much.
You generally won't find a lot of churchgoers in theater. I guess when the cast is up till 3 on Saturday nights, they're not about to get up early to go to church on Sunday mornings.
If my parents knew I had a man in my room right now, they'd kill me. Or you. Or both of us. Thank God you're gay and they're back in Little Rock.
You're saying the Rents would be willing to kill just because you're in bed with the man?
I'm exaggerating. But they would certainly be very disappointed. I love my parents. I don't want to ever disappoint them. And for the most part, we share similar views. About marriage, for instance. My mom and dad have been married for 25 years. I think there's something so beautiful about the idea of 2 people staying together for a lifetime, no matter how miserable they are. I know it's not fashionable to want to marry young and have a big family, but it's what I want anyway.
And I would defend to the death your right to want it, but I'm curious, do you believe all the same things your parents believe?
No, I don't think gay people are going to hell just because they're gay. I mean, they'd have to do other things, really, really bad things, like murder, to go to hell. And sometimes I think there might not be any such thing as hell.
Do your parents know that?
No.
Why not?
I love my parents. How could I possibly tell them that? In some ways, I think they're really ignorant. What about you? What are your folks like?
Nothing like yours. I was adopted by 2 dads.
Cool.
Oh, I don't know that it was so cool. It just was. They're both great guys, and I love them very much. You'll get to meet them if you want to. They come to every opening night.
When did you come out?
I never had to. My dads were gay. Their friends were gay. I went to performing arts schools that were largely gay. Most everybody here at the Playhouse is gay. I just kind of wandered into gaydom. There was no epiphany.
Then when did you first realize you were gay?
Hard to say. I guess it was the moment I realized if I weren't gay, I might lose my whole world as I knew it.
If I were gay, I would definitely lose my whole world. I don't think my parents could ever accept it. I know that my grandparents would never speak to me again, and none of my aunts and uncles and cousins.
Geez, how do we get into this? Can we switch topics?
Sure. Want to see my new dress I bought for opening night?
I'd like nothing better.
Lexi strips off her pajamas to expose a chemise over panties. She crosses to slip her dress on behind the screen. Caesar should convey sudden and very strong physical attraction for her. She comes back to the bed in a very striking dress with a plunging neckline.
What do you think?
I think you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Really? It was on sale and I couldn't resist. What's it gonna be like? Opening night, I mean. I'm so excited and a little scared. I mean, this is my first opening night in the big city.
New Hope is the big city?
For me.
Well, there's nothing to be scared of. I set up the reception table before the finale. When the doors open, everybody makes a beeline for the wine. Cookies in her ostrich feathers, Sir Edmund's in his tuxedo. They usually join me behind the table to absorb their fans' gushing compliments. They've got lots of them. They are practically legends around here.
What about the owner of the Playhouse, Richard Mueller? Will I get to meet him?
Dick Mueller? Probably not. And if you do meet him, you won't know it. He comes in disguise.
Why would he need to come in disguise?
Oh dear, sweet, innocent Lexi. Answering that would require an entire third act, if not a whole nother play.
Who else will I meet?
Well, there's Fern and Fran. They're head ushers. Don't ever confuse them with regular ushers.
What's the difference?
None at all. Fran and Fern are 2 solidly built, basically interchangeable retirees from the Poconos. They're more than a little rough around the edges.
What do you mean?
Well, last opening night, Fran yelled across the auditorium in her whiskey/fishmonger voice, "Hold the house! Fern, I gotta hit the head."
How long have they been ushering at the Playhouse?
Forever. That's the problem with volunteers, Lexi. It's well nigh impossible to fire them.
Oh my. Who else?
There's one person who tends to strike fear in every bosom.
Why?
Because as mammals, we're able to sense when there's a predator in our midst. We'll be standing there opening night like a flock of sheep, and then the wolf will enter.
Who's the wolf?
Sherry Stelling's initials SS, Director of Children's Theater, Capo de Capi.
I don't speak Italian.
It's a term largely used outside of law enforcement to describe a mafia crime boss, but it applies here.
How so?
For one thing, she doesn't go anywhere without her bodyguards, Marlene and Arlene. They stand right behind her at the cheese table with their beefy arms crossed over their chests. They're 2 stage mothers from Jersey.
I'm not sure I understand.
Children's theater is the dark underbelly of the Playhouse. Nobody's willing to talk about it, but here's how it works. Sherry has an extortion racket going on, known as the Stan Lee School of the Dance. Those kids who take plenty of her acting dancing and singing classes get the plum rolls. If you don't take enough classes, you're strictly relegated to portrayal of tree number 4.
That's so unfair.
It is. And don't get me started on Arlene or Marlene.
Get started on Arlene and Marlene.
Arlene is the mother to the worst Danny we ever had. It's off-putting to hear an 11-year-old sing Tomorrow in a baritone.
What about Marlene?
The fruit of Marlene's loins are twins, Zach and Xander. They used to burn twins at the stake during the Middle Ages, thought they were evil.
Yes, I read that once.
Well, you'll understand why they thought that when you met these twins.
He can't be that bad.
Oh, no, legend has it that one Oliver run, Zach and Xander played Oliver in tandem. They got into an argument right before the curtain one night and beat each other unconscious. The stage manager threatened to put one of the other kids on if Marlene couldn't revive them. Marlene tried spirits of ammonia, slapping them around, but nothing worked. So the stage manager got the other kid ready. Marlene said if he put that kid on in place of Zach or Xander, she'd make sure that child would never be seen or heard from again. The kid went on, and he was brilliant. When he said, "Can I have some more, sir?" the whole house was in tears.
So what happened? Did he take over the part for the rest of the run?
He couldn't.
Why?
He was never seen or heard from again.
No.
There's one thing you don't have to worry about.
What's that?
Reviews. We've got 2 reviewers who attend every opening night, come hell or high water.
Who are they?
The Gazette always sends Olivia Bartleby, and the Herald always sends Stan the Man.
Stan the Man?
He's a great guy, a grizzled old newsman who's retired now. He loves the Playhouse, drinks like a fish. In fact, he always brings his own wine cup, a big gulp he saved from 7-Eleven.
What about Olivia Bartleby?
Large gal, real Tracy Turnblad, hefty hideaway shopper. I tell her every wine and cheese that she looks like she lost weight. She's crazy about me.
Wow. You've given me a lot to take in.
It's getting kind of late. I better go.
Boy, it's really pouring now. Maybe you should sleep over.
But what if your parents pay a surprise visit and shoot us?
It's okay,
I know it's okay. It even rhymes.
Lexi curls up beside Caesar and closes her eyes. He looks down at her adoringly. She begins to snore in a very unbecoming fashion that does nothing to quell his adoration. Suddenly, he shakes her awake.
Wake up, Lexi. I need to tell you something. I'm not gay.
Scene 5. Caesar sits on the stage with a clipboard in front of him. He gazes at the house where a group has gathered to audition for the next show, South Pacific.
I want to thank you all for coming. Just give me a moment to gather my wits.
He begins to write furiously on the clipboard. Sir Eben and Cookie saunter in holding coffee cups. They gaze at the house.
Never seen so many Orientals and Negroes in Bucks County before.
Asians and blacks, Cookie.
Jesus Christ. Nobody can say anything anymore. That's some whippersnapper who doesn't remember Nixon isn't correcting them.
And stop saying Jesus Christ. You're taking the Lord's name in vain, and it'll upset Lexi.
That's another thing. It's absolutely weird around here since you two got together and started making goo-goo eyes at each other.
Yeah, nobody can cuss. Nobody can drink to excess. Nobody can compare notes on who slept with who last night.
It's like Catholic school all over again.
I don't have time for this. Welcome, everyone, to the Bucks County Playhouse, where we don't see color at all. And if we did, it wouldn't matter, because we're willing to cast any color. Black, brown, beige, stayed too long in the tanning booth, any color, purple even, and size 2. Remember, there are no small parts, just small actors.
God, man. It's a dwarf in the 3rd row.
I didn't mean you. Ophelia. Is there an Ophelia Balls in the house? I guess she fell ill.
Look at that big fella out there. He'd make a great Joe for a showboat revival.
You there, big guy, Deshaun Washington, let me hear your pipes. Old Man River, that old man River, he must know something, but don't say nothing. That's good, we'll be in touch.
What did I tell you? I played Joe myself back in '75.
I'm cringing inwardly. You're telling me you played Joe in blackface?
No. Joe was white in that production.
How can you have a white Joe sing that old man River? Destroys the context.
Oh, context be damned.
We tried to find black people. There just weren't any.
On to Asians. Asian ladies. I'm looking for something to post World of Susie Wong. But pre-Mulan with the soupcon of Miss Saigon and a dash of Lucy Liu.
Is Liat going to be Oriental? I don't see why we can't just spray Lexi's hair black.
And slant up her eyes. We've already gotten used to her.
And I don't think it's fair we should have to get used to another new person. Lexi's bad enough.
Slanting eyes and spraying hair is exactly what we're trying to get away from.
But why must we change a system that's worked since the ancient Greeks?
That's not really what you're asking. What you're really asking is, why must you personally have to change anything ever? You're both demanding we do it the way we've always done it. You and Cookie are the oldest actors in the cast, and you both would pitch a fit if your parts were played by 20-somethings, whose hair was sprayed gray and wore bifocals.
You wouldn't dare.
You're right, I wouldn't dare, because I believe everyone deserves a shot at being cast, if they're the best fit for the role, no matter what they look like. And deep down, I think you both believe that too. Okay, number 23 on stage.
Scene 6. Caesar, Lexi, Larry, Sir Edmund, and Cookie are sitting around Cookie's dining room table to share Thanksgiving turkey together. Each place has a wine glass set in front of it. Sir Edmund is sitting next to Cookie, Lexi between Caesar and Larry. They are all holding hands.
Can I go first? I'm thankful for my health, good friends, that Lexi is my girlfriend, that I think we actually have some chance of lasting past strike. But most of all, I'm grateful that Anastasia broke her leg doing her Jenny Craig workout, and we now have a real Asian to play Liat, and a black person to play Emil Debuka in what is sure to be our breakthrough production of South Pacific.
Touche, Caesar. And I'm thankful that after a most circuitous route, I've found again the love of my life, the inestimable, the irreplaceable Miss Cookie Crumbs, thespian extraordinaire.
Thank you, darling, and right back at you.
God bless us, everyone.
Thank you, Tiny Tim.
I wish you guys would stop teasing me. I'm feeling really vulnerable right now. It's bad enough my parents equate acting on stage with prostitution, but now I'm spending Thanksgiving with people who think my religion is a joke.
Don't you fret, my dear. It's hard for age to take youth seriously. All of us here know that what it is to be rejected by parents who had other plans for us. My father was an admiral in the Navy. I thought it would satisfy him that I got the titular role in a Mr. Roberts revival, but it didn't.
My mother was a dental hygienist. She never said it, but I know she wanted me to be a dental hygienist too. Certainly there's nothing wrong with being a dental hygienist. I just couldn't deal with all that saliva. It's strange how much satisfaction parents get out of seeing children make the same choices that they made. And when they don't, it's hard for them not to see it as rejection. I'm old enough to have seen it from both sides now. Edmund Jr. would rather perform his own root canal, he's a dentist, than be on a stage.
What about you, Larry? Did you disappoint your parents when you chose theater?
I never had parents, or at least I never knew them. I grew up in 8 different foster homes. Look how gorgeous I am. But apparently no one ever wanted to keep me. I don't blame them. Wasn't the greatest kid. Used to go around mimicking people all the time. They thought I was making fun of them. I wasn't. Just wanted to try on their lives for a while, see if I could find one that fit.
Never mind what I said before. What I really want to say is I'm thankful that even though I can't be with my family, I'm with my family.
That's right. We are a family right here, right now, and we make a place for each other.
Yep, and I'll give you a little hint what your part in our next show is going to be.
Bloody Mary
Hilarious.
girl.
Girl I love.
No, first Aunt Eller, and then to add insult to injury, Leah's mother, a toothless old Polynesian woman. I'd report it to equity if I was a member.
Come on,
Come on,
Cookie.
Cookie. It'll be fun.
You'll try. Come on.
I just will love you.
Fine.
Oh, all right. Beats dental hygiene.
It's Thanksgiving. Let's say grace, everybody.
Grace.
I know.
Yes.
Let's say grace the way only show people can.
Caesar begins, and they all stand and join in with the finale from Oklahoma.
And when we
We'll
say,
say
We're
what we say is,
Fine,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
okay.